We've learned that hundreds of patients have come by bus or by boat or by foot. They travel for often hours to days to get to the hospital. The cost of travel is often more than a family earns in many months or even years. They wait patiently for hours for us to examine all of the patients, and they wait again for hours to learn their fate. They sit there hopeful. Their eyes tell the stories of circumstances beyond our world, beyond our comprehension, something that we just can't understand. In their world, the cleft means that their child has no future, is an outcast, is a monster. In our world, certainly a cleft is difficult, but it's easily repaired, and the child can live a full life with endless possibilities. For them, hope comes in the form of a mission group, and their hope is to be chosen for surgery. They're fathers and mothers just like us, and we want to help them, and that's why we continue to do this work year after year.
Was to kind of create his files and take his pictures, and he just came bouncing right into the triage clinic, and he wasn't scared, he wasn't shaking like some of the other kids were. He was grinning ear to ear. He was so excited for this opportunity. And so I took his picture and I chatted with him a little bit, and he just was going a mile a minute. When he left my area, he went to the surgeons, and then from there he had to wait. And he had to wait 5 or 6 hours to learn his fate. But boy, did he keep himself busy. He was up and down the hall. He was fist bumping with the nurses. He was high-fiving the Peace Corps workers. He was making friends. He was flirting with the camera crew. But what really struck me the most, and what really touched me the most, was he kept going back to where the surgeons were, and their wall was a glass wall, and he kept putting his face up against the wall and kind of squishing it, But I remember thinking to myself, boy, he's a smart little guy. Because inevitably, these are the guys that have to remember his face, and these are the guys that have to make the decision whether or not he receives surgery. And boy, he was making sure they didn't forget him. And they didn't forget him, and Jesse was chosen for surgery. And on Thursday of that week, Dr. Shi and Dr. Rubenstein changed his life forever. They took him from a little boy with no future and gave him hope.
Most patients, when they enter the triage room, they really don't look at you. They don't make eye contact. They turn away, cover their faces when they smile. This little girl came in. She had the hugest smile and bright eyes and looked around and was as interested in me as I was in her. And I was really impressed by her confidence. And she twirled around in her dress and she continued to smile brightly. And her teeth were rotting and missing, and her palate and lip were wide open, and I was really impressed and thought what loving, strong parents she must have to have such a confidence about her, such a positive self-image. She knew she was beautiful, and it showed. When I said smile, she put her hand up to her chin and she did the little hand signal for beautiful, guapa, and smiled at me, and I knew she was beautiful.
Spirit, one voice, sound one makes us.